Hey guys, today I want to talk about how to get negativity out of your system. And one thing I used to touch on a while ago, but I don't think I actually talked about in a specific video, was this one affirmation. And it was like, these thoughts are not mine, go away. And what it was supposed to do is that by consciously repeating that whenever that same train of thought would appear, you would filter it out of your subconscious. And then eventually it got to a point to where your default state of mind wasn't centered around looking for that negativity. It would just naturally go away. You're undefinable energy. And so we can consciously use our thoughts to steer ourselves in the direction of really understanding this, because there's plenty to understand. We have the vortex mathematics, we have the sacred geometry, we have the golden ratio, we have all of that shows us that everything is one, that we're all connected, that there is order in the universe, but the order is that chaos is the main thing that runs everything, in the sense that the subconscious mind, or just the mind of the universe, the God pattern, is what stabilizes the universe, even though that structure itself is literally nothingness. So if you want to take that back to the physical vessel, into something you can do every day, and I have just 4 of these counter thoughts that may help you on your journey of realizing this. When I have any worrying thoughts, I say, that's valid, but I won't attach myself to it. And that's really key to understanding that all these thoughts that seem to pull you down in a certain direction, a direction that you willingly don't want to go, you just have to accept that trying to force these thoughts is not the way to go. What's more conducive is actually just seeing it as water that's just rushing past you. That's pretty much your mind, your entire thought pattern. And they come and go. It's energy, emotion, energy in motion. And so it passes, it's whatever. I didn't attach myself to it. What stakes do I have? Fuck the negativity. So when I'm just like, man, this girl expect me to color, but I don't even know what to say, I might just bail out. Okay, that's valid, but I won't attach myself to that. And that's it. When I have thoughts of annoyance, where it's just like there's something that sets me off, particularly like behaviors of certain people, and it's just like, why the fuck do I even care? That's when I counter those thoughts of annoyance with, the 5 senses are temporary. As simple as that. These emotional responses, they all come from the stimuli of what our 5 senses are picking up. And we're not the 5 senses. We're the thing that is analyzing the 5 senses. And you can't really define that other than calling it God or divinity. So when I'm just like, I'm gonna fucking kill myself if you call me downstairs to get one thing that's next to you. The 5 senses are temporary. And that's it. Whenever I have thoughts of animosity, so like, when I see a representation of something I don't agree with, say, the Hollywood propaganda going on, and how like certain actors, they essentially, they commit to this agenda, because it's like, fuck it, what's in it for me? And then what's in it for them is getting a lot of money. That's when I have to stop myself and just go, don't judge anyone. Without knowing divinity, you do what you gotta do. And that's just how it is. Everyone goes down their own path, and you can't, to interfere with somebody's path in this forceful way where it's like you're teaching more than loving, that's where you go wrong. Because now you're intermingling your energy with theirs. And often negativity can be more powerful than positivity if you aren't grounded in your own sense of self. And that's the journey we all are in right now. We're trying to figure out who the fuck we are. Or more, we're trying to figure out what we are. Or even more so, if you're past those 2 things, you want to figure out, what can I do with that knowledge of self? How can I actually transmute this, what seems to be just this passive energy, and actively use it to do what the fuck I want to do? And if anything, spread the awareness so that other people know that they can do the same thing. And that's what magic is. So when I'm just like, these niggas sellouts, don't judge them. Without knowing divinity, you do what you have to do. And that's it. And finally, when I get into situations of indecisiveness, where I'm looking for discernment, I simply ask myself, do I have to convince myself to do this? And for whatever reason, that just kind of opens your heart up to just accepting yes or no. As simple as that. So, do I have to convince myself to do this? It really just helps understand what things you're self-imposing. And then it kind of leads you into just asking why. Where the fuck does that even come from? Especially if you're meditating. When you're meditating, it just comes clear. You get images and shit, or at least for me. Because clairvoyance is my strongest sense. So when I'm just like, I'm chill right now, but let's watch some porn. Do I have to convince myself to do this? And that's it. Yeah, those are the 4 counter thoughts. For worrying, that's valid, but I won't attach myself to it. For annoyances, the 5 senses are temporary. And it just makes it easy to just let whatever had pissed you off, irked you, triggered you, niggered you, whatever, go away. For thoughts of animosity, don't judge them. Without knowing of divinity, you do what you gotta do. And so, you let that pass, because ultimately you should really only concern yourself with yourself. And so, it's so weird because you'd think it'd be the opposite. By caring about other people, you make yourself feel better, but really you drain your energy trying to do that as like your long-term approach. It's only from developing yourself, developing your own spirituality, going through self-initiation, researching and studying the basic ideas of the universe, etc., that you actually have a heart open enough and receptive enough to give that out to others freely. Because just like Travis Magus says, which shout out to him, I want you guys to subscribe to him. He makes amazing content, along with Professor Chrome. His videos are really funny, and they just give you perspective on things that you normally wouldn't cross your mind in the question. I just really like the way he makes his videos too. So yeah, shout out to him. And last but not least, whenever I have thoughts of discernment where I'm just trying to get a clear answer for a situation, I just ask myself, do I need to convince myself to do this? And that helps a lot with clearing it up. I don't want you to get it twisted when I say that too, as like you're doing something like challenging a fear, and you're just like, am I convincing myself to do this? Yes, that means don't do it. In a general sense, I really just mean understand the motives for the actions that you may or may not do. Even if you hold back on something, you kind of want to know what instigated that decision. But yeah, that's all I have to speak about today. I'm going to try to put more ambient music in the background of my videos. They're just relaxing for me to talk to, and I think you'd like it too. But yeah, that's all I have to speak on. Thanks for watching. Peace to the Pantheon, and stay aberrational.
Right on my own, if there ain't no way I'm going back. Yeah, no way. Persona go up in the flames as a matter of fact. Huh? Yes, sir. Now that I got my own truth, trying to make an impact. Yeah. Being a woman out of it, to me, that shit is no discussion. Niggas be speaking like prophets, but why the fuck you have a coven? Hate to break it or we're waking up, nigga. And sorry, it's about to be bigger. We fuck up this system, this shit is official. Individuals will make the word visible. Their vibrations fractal out as residual. Time is up and you knew it was eventual. You worship us.